Hello, welcome back. I am Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? Or tonight? Technically for me it's tonight. It's so funny because lately I've been filming like in the mornings or during the day, and today just was one of those days where I just didn't have time to do my intro for this week's video. I am so far behind. Oh, so how are you this evening? I am exhausted. I feel like I haven't had a day off in months, which is probably pretty true because, um, you know, if you like me, you work and then you have your house activities and you have your, you know, extracurricular activities, you know, and sometimes I get really frustrated with my husband because I just feel like he could do more. Like, so here's a situation with my Suburban. I have one tire that shows 47 pounds, one tire that shows 37 pounds, one tire that shows 35 pounds, and one tire that shows 23 pounds. So my low pressure gauge goes off. I got 4 new tires in the last 6 months on this vehicle because they were just that bad. You know, I've asked him for the last week, could you please check out my tires? Can you air them up so they're even? This one's a brand new one. Why is it leaking? Is it the valve stem they just screwed up? I don't know, but something's wrong, right? And it's cold. You know, we are in winter, and I don't care how nice it's been. I shouldn't have to ask so many times for this to get done. This could be a serious thing. I could have my grandkids in the vehicle. I could have my sons in the vehicle. We could be broke down. You know, it's not fun. Why is it such a hard responsibility? And then I was thinking, so, you know, we talk about training your husband when you get married. So do we train them in a bad way? Did I train him in a bad way? Did I, waking him up when he was late for work, even though he was just a farmer at the time? He could get up fine on his own when I was not there. But if I was home, I'd have to wake him up 3 or 4 times like a teenage kid. Yeah. Did I train him to like leave everything to me with the kids? But did I train him to the point where there's no responsibility in his court to do anything? I'm beginning to wonder this, and I want to untrain him. Like, if there's no furnace filters, and there's no toilet paper, and there's no toothpaste, whose fault is it? Mine, because he doesn't buy those things. He doesn't buy furnace filters. He doesn't change the furnace filters. He doesn't buy toilet paper. He doesn't buy toothpaste. Unless I tell him, you have to, we need it. You have to, you know? So how do I untrain this? We've been married almost 30 years, like whatever. I'm dating myself. He has seen some things this last year or year and a half, but I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to tell him over and over and over when he had been to town 4 or 5 times this week to take my Suburban and check out the tires. It was nice. This week, holy cow, you guys. Like, let me show you the weather. Here's our forecast. That's our forecast for the week. We haven't had it this cold. We've been spoiled. But seriously, you know it's coming. I know it's coming. Anybody who's lived here knows it's coming. We are going to have cold, cold temps. Like, is this something I've done? I've started to look at things differently. Like you want to change something in your life, but how do you change it? Can you change it? Is it changeable? Right? But when it's somebody else, where's the problem start? So did I train him to rely on me too much that I could do stuff for myself. But I've never done that with a vehicle. Like, to me, it's like the vehicle's his responsibility. The house is my responsibility. Even though the last few years, the house has become part of his responsibility for obvious reasons, other reasons. But did I teach him this? I don't know. I'm starting to think like, did I do this? And how do I fix this? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I could have caused this. I could have done this. I could have been just that awesome of a wife. He relied too much on things I did, and now that things have changed and our roles are kind of switched around a little bit, yeah, it's crazy. Today we are doing a remake of my Root Beer Float bar. Love this bar. Sells out at my vendor shows very well. But anyway, I'm gonna give you a little teaser here at the end. Some soaps coming up for Valentine's Day. I have this one. And I have this one. Isn't that pretty? And this isn't really for Valentine's Day, but bringing back my Angel Orchard. And this one. Those are for Valentine's Day. I think we have a couple soaps coming up in between, but the Valentine soaps and the Valentine stuff will be coming up at the end of the month. Possibly sooner. It just depends. Today we're doing the Root Beer Float Bar. 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. And let's go check out this Root Beer Float. And to the soap. So, this was actually, I did change the recipe for this bar. Not that it really matters. Half the time people don't even notice. I'm serious, they don't notice. I just do it every once in a while to mix things up and to see if I have a better, better hang time. Sometimes certain fragrances work better in certain batches depending on what the design is. And this is just a basic, like, it could thicken up as much as I wanted to, but, that's just how it is. So my master batch number 2, this came out super thick. And I was actually worried that it was going to stay super thick. But, so the Winter Landscape soap, we did this one in it. And one of the Valentine soaps coming up, I did this in it. But I did an absolute beautiful swirl with that one. So I don't know. I got nothing. Okay. But the Root Beer Float. So the master batch was canola, castor, coconut, olive, tallow, and cocoa butter. Yep. 10% cocoa butter. So this should be, and that could be why I'm kind of leaning towards the heavier, the harder oils, more harder oils than soft oils. And that could be, but I don't know. It really was very beautiful with that other soap. But this did exactly what I needed it to do. I needed it to be thick and creamy and just go into the mold and play nice, which it did. So the fragrance is all in the bottom portion. Okay, it's all in that bottom portion. There is titanium dioxide in the bowl. No coloring in the bottom portion. Okay, nothing to turn it brown. It'll do that all on its own. So I let this set up a little bit, and it still wasn't, even with the titanium dioxide, that usually helps thicken stuff up, but it still wasn't thick enough to do what I needed it to do. So as you can see, I'm just kind of played with it every 5 to 10 minutes just to get it to where I needed it to be so I could sculpt the top. Yes. And this, like I said, I should make a bigger batch, but I like this. It works well. I've got this all centered down on how to do it in this and in the wood mold. And, that's another whole conglomerate right there. But basically, I have this little stencil that I made from cardboard. And I just, it's messy. It's messy. It's so pretty. It's a running joke between me and my daughter. But yeah, and you can see it's definitely thickening up, you know, compared to the last time I was playing with it. And I just want a nice round mound, so it looks like an ice cream scoop on top of the root beer float, right? If you were around a long time ago before I did YouTube and you were at my vendor shows, you probably saw the little root beer float cups I made. And those were super fun. Why did I not bring them back? I don't know. One of these days, I'm actually thinking I might do a cold. I did melt and pour in those. I do a cold process. Maybe I'll show you at the end. A cold process soap the same way, I think would be just as cute, you know. So basically, this takes me quite a bit of time to go back and forth and smooth it to where it's nice and fairly smooth. I get the ridges from the cardboard, but it doesn't make that big of a deal on the overall end result. Okay, C-popped, gelled, and looks pretty nice. It's a little lumpy. You're going to see, so it's going to take a while to discolor. It takes like 2 weeks, I think. Those are just places where the fragrance oil just, it kind of looks like it leaked. Like, it's kind of greasy. But anyway, yeah. And I don't know why I did this. I couldn't find the edge of the bar. I just wanted to smoothen that out. But so over time, this will discolor. So that middle part, it's brown on the outside. It's even going to get darker than that, like hellaciously dark, just like a beautiful root beer pop would be. And this smells spot on root beer. There's nobody who is not sure what this fragrance oil is. If I didn't tell them, they still would guess it's root beer. It smells root beer. Love root beer. My grandson's one of his favorite bars. So all that is going to discolor to a dark brown. The white is going to try and hold on. It might discolor just a little bit, which is super crazy because there is no fragrance oil in it, but it will kind of just a little bit where it meets the brown, right? Previously I've put swirls in there, but this time I didn't. I just did the solid top. Here's the bar right after it's cut. You can see it's still white and yellow and creamy. This is the bar after it's cured. You can see the line, how the white and the dark discolor. And here's my original root beer float bar made with melt and pour and cold process. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.